Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. I am up early in comparison to what I normally would be to go to church, so I can try and get some flying in. But let's go ahead and get ready and head up to the church. Hey folks, this is AJ the CEO. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. Alright, so the main thing today is I believe we're going to have some additional people who are going to be in the media booth today. So I need to set up, first off, how they feel, let them feel comfortable in running everything, and show them it's no reason to be intimidated by anything, as well as want to see how the new graphics that we did, are they going to be received, how they're going to be received. Honestly, most of the time they're not going to pay attention to it, but I always look to see how does it help or does it detract from what's going on. So let's get up here and set everything up. Alright, so I'm making my regular rounds around the church before service starts. I got about like 30 minutes before service starts. I have 15 minutes before we start the live stream. I always start the live stream at 9:45 so that if there's any technical issues, you can work them out instead of trying to get it done right when service starts. So let's see, nothing is going on here in the multi-purpose room, so let's go to the other rooms and just make sure everything is in decency and in order. I think I might be the only one here today, but it sounds like somebody's down at the bottom of the steps. So let's go ahead and get everything started. I'm gonna start the live stream. I've already started recording, and we're gonna start from there. All right, so I'm excited because we got our new trainee here, and they don't know what's going on. Wait. So got her running ProPresenter right now with running the screens and stuff like that. So taking it real slow. Church today was actually very funny, which I will actually mention today in my vlog that y'all will see tomorrow. But pretty much my pastor came up, and he has a wireless headset that sits on his hip. And last Sunday, it's a guard that slides up and blocks the power button, but he left it open. So when he was moving, he kept hitting it and kept turning off. So this Sunday, he came up, we put the shield up so it wouldn't hit it, but then it started popping again. Found out that it was left on, so the whole batteries pretty much lasted the whole week and just started dying in the middle of service. I went down, and I'm gonna take the video because you're gonna see it here in a second when I edit it. Went to change his batteries, took the batteries out of the wireless mic and put them in there, but he was moving around, so the mics went out for him while he was preaching maybe 5 times. So I kept going down there and getting it, and then sooner or later it was just like, man, forget it. So after all of the wonderful events that happened today at church, there are a couple of things that even as long as I've been in media ministry, which I don't really consider to be that long in comparison, there are just a lot of things that are really important that you can't downplay the importance of, I'll put it that way, is a quality sound check for all musicians, anyone who's going to be operating any sound equipment, microphones, wireless mics, is a necessity. I say this from the ministers of my church, the musicians as well. 15 minutes before church service starts, when praise and worship starts, 15 minutes before service, it just does not work. You're pretty much setting yourself up to fail. Also, just having contingency plans just in case is another thing to realize. And I think I had somebody ask me this as well, is because I don't know about anybody else, but I know we struggle with trying to find volunteers. So what I found best to work just recently is really to just make an in-person invitation. So I didn't do a video announcement asking for volunteers. I actually went one-on-one to a person, showed them what we did, and it just made the doors open easier for them to come. I've done that with kids. Honestly, I have rapport with a lot of the kids' parents, so I can talk to the kids without their parents being around. And because I develop rapport with them, their parents are normally like, okay, yeah, I'll let them work because I know the type of stuff that you do. I know the type of person you are. And I think that works best. And then also kind of just walking them through and showing them that you don't need to be a super technical IT computer genius to even do a lot of the stuff. It's more of you're looking for a willingness and a willingness to learn new things. That's the other thing. Learn from today, as well as some other things I learned with the Bible trivia type of thing that I'm working on is I do this in music, and I need to remind myself that I need to apply this in multiple other things, is that you need to turn and steer the ship 1 degree at a time. A lot of people get jostled back and forth when the ship turns too much. I think with a lot of the ideas that I try and do, a lot of people have developed trust, but then when I'm starting to touch, for lack of a better word, the sacred cow of certain areas, a lot of people have problems with that. Feel challenged, feel vulnerable, powerless, out of control, whatever word you want to use. So I'm learning that no matter what you're doing in your media ministry, even if you have a vision, it does not matter what, gotta be careful how I say this, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Your vision is your vision. No one can tell you if your vision is right or wrong because the vision is given to you. You don't need to confirm with another man if what God told you is right for you is right for you. It doesn't work that way. But you just have to be careful on how you do it, because there are some people who will try and tear the dream down. There are other people who will say, oh, you got your 1,000, or you got your tens of thousands, but I only got my 1,000. They feel challenged by that. And you want to, at least me, I'm not a confrontational type of person. I don't like conflict, contrary to what anybody might think. I kind of want to go with the flow and let it just flow naturally without a lot of battles and all this other stuff like that. So that's kind of my nature. What I want to do is, my whole mission is to try and help my church and any other church spread the message of Jesus Christ as effective as possible using technology. Now, a lot of people get intimidated by technology, but what I like to say is, not that they hired me, but I was picked for this role. So I don't need to be micromanaged, especially I don't need to be micromanaged in a field that you don't know. So for example, I know a little something about SQL. If you don't know nothing about SQL, I don't need you to tell me how to do something. That's an annoyance. I think that's kind of the same way. If I was when I was the minister of music, I don't need somebody who don't know music telling me how I need to do music, or who's never taught a choir rehearsal. I had other people used to say to me back in the day, well, AJ, you should run choir rehearsal like this. Hold on. Not disrespectful. I take in what people suggest, but my whole thing is, my favorite quote is, what reservoir of knowledge are you pulling from to tell me if this is right or wrong? I mean, I'm open to suggestion, but I'm that's the whole thing. We have everybody in culture, whether in church, in the world, or whatever, can always tell you how something won't work. But I don't know about anybody else. I like to know how it will work. So just the same way, if I'm making suggestions to move forward and you're telling me why it won't work, okay, well, what are your suggestions? I don't have any suggestions. So you just like to be the negative Nancy. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to move forward, not just give excuses to justify why we're staying here, because I know it's not just my church. It's churches all over. Don't be fooled. A lot of people are having the same issues. Again, out of all the churches I've talked to, there is a uniform issue that's going on is mainly that the young adults and younger are not coming around. Now, there are great churches out there that they're catering to that. They're not ignoring that area, and they have a lot of people in that generation coming around. But the churches that have been, I don't want to say all, because that's not even it. It's just that we have to be realizing that my generation and younger, a lot of them aren't coming around because the method, not the message, the method of how things are being taught needs to change, or should, for lack of a better word, needs to evolve, to grow in a different method. The hellfire and brimstone message, yes, that may work for some people, but like for me, or like other people who've been in church and we know this stuff, I'm looking for growth. Like, in other words, what the scriptures say, I don't need to be fed milk anymore. I'm kind of looking for meat, so I can grow. And I'm actually, this is more sounding like my everyday Christian podcast that I haven't even recorded yet. But anyway, let me go back to what I was saying, that mainly realize what your strengths are. When it comes to finding other people, what works for me is developing a relationship, knowing the interests. Like, if I see kids who are doing video and stuff on their phone or on Instagram and all this other stuff, I'm like, hey, that's the same thing we do upstairs. Really? Well, why don't you go out? Let me show you. That's what did it for me. And then after that, all the other stuff that we've been doing, actually, that's how the other person came in. They just said, pulled aside, it's like, man, I've always loved, or I've always wanted to do something like that. Do you think I'm too old? And that person was actually a year younger than me. And I'm just like, yes, it doesn't matter of age. Like, again, I work with people that are 8 years old and work on the sound system, media ministry, up to 83. And they do the same thing. It's your willingness to learn does not get old. So anyway, this is vastly different than most of the other stuff that I would do here on my vlogs. Again, thank you all your new members, subscribers, really appreciate it. I hope y'all are getting something out of the stuff, seeing what I'm going through on a day-to-day. Maybe that gives you some encouragement when y'all are going through other stuff as well too. What I got going on tomorrow is pretty much, I'm probably going to work from the church all day, because I have a media ministry meeting at the end of the day. And then my epiphany yesterday worked, but then I sat back and thought, why don't I just use Worship Extreme to do this game show stuff? I have the remote control app and all this other stuff that I've reviewed on here, and it was kind of like after church, like, why didn't you just do that? So I've been moving everything over there, which I'm still going to run everything off of my portable system, but we'll be talking about that tomorrow. So I'm going to be setting up and playing around with that stuff there at church, working on a couple of websites. I'm actually redoing the website, the Pro Church Tools website that a church actually hired me to actually work on. So I'm still working on that behind the scenes. My website, especially when I'm at church tomorrow, I'm going to remind the Learning Center, it's been almost 3 weeks. I need y'all's information so I can fix y'all's website, my barber's website, and we'll get into something else. Mainly add some more content for the knowledge base for all the new people and any other stuff that I need to train. I'm probably going to go over a workflow, a media ministry workflow. That's what I think I'm going to probably do, as well as the game show type of stuff with Worship Extreme and maybe Pro Presenter. So anyway, thank y'all again. Hope you like this content. If you do, I appreciate a like. Consider subscribing and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help you modernize your media ministry. And again, be on the lookout for Everyday Christian Podcast. I think I might record my first recording tomorrow. I will let you know, because I will tell you on this video. So anyway, y'all have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Later.
Hello everybody, welcome to my daddy's channel. My daddy's name is AJaytheCEO. He makes videos, daddy and me.
And what else?
And business.
And church stuff.
And church stuff.